Hiya, and happy welcome to my channel from me to you. Hope you're doing A-okay, cause the time has finally come. We're about to meet the 24 castaways that are competing on Sim Survivor Blood vs. Water. If you haven't, check out my last video for information about the camps, the theme, the tribes, and so on. But if you already have, we'll dive into meeting the cast then. So, I'm doing most of this cast reveal in pairs where I can talk about how they relate to each other as well as the individual Sims themselves. And since there's a lot of information from traits to likes and dislikes, I'm not gonna cover every single thing, but all their information will be on the screen for you, so if you want to pause and read, do go for it. I worked so hard on this video, so I hope you enjoy it. Let's go! Kicking us off today is Aili Larson and Trent Crenshaw, a dating couple submitted by CJTcock19. Thank you! Aili is a flight attendant and she is very well traveled. She is very loyal to the one she loves to the extent of jealousy. Trent better not be caught lacking. She's also obsessed with knitting for some reason. I guess it helps keep her company when she's in different worlds or something, or waiting for the next plane. She also fancies rock climbing, so Mount Komorebi is one of the worlds where she isn't knitting her soul away. Aili hates the ambitionless and the homebodies as she considers herself very outdoorsy and goal-oriented. She loves to complain and gossip as well, but do not ever lie to her cause she will lash out. Trent, on the other hand, owns a little bakery downtown Oasis Springs, and yes, this is a cupcake machine cause I do not have to get to work expansion pack. Trent is our first hearing-impaired contestant, suffering from a hereditary hearing loss ever since he was a child. Nonetheless, Trent had never let his disability stop him from living his life. He is ambitious and very romantic, but also very mean and unforgiving. He has skills in cooking, herbalism, and mischief, so remind me to never do this man wrong, cause you never know what he could put in those cupcakes. His characteristics revolve around flirtation and romance, but he also likes arguing, cause most of the time he ends up being right. He despises working out and anything fitness related. It's all bake and no make for him. Aili and Trent met when Aili was looking for a quick little nom-nom before she had to board a plane for work. Trent is entranced by Aili's entrance and the two hit it off so quick. So well that Aili missed her flight. Yeah, that is not a good look for any flight attendant, but Aili didn't care. Trent even went up to Aili's boss and won an argument for her so she could keep her job, with some cupcakes as bribery, of course. Since then, the two have been dating and Aili visits Trent whenever she arrives in town. The two are here on Survivor because Aili loves money and Trent also wants to move on to greater things than a shabby little bakery. They consider themselves a new age Bonnie and Clyde because they are not afraid to cheat, lie, and steal to move themselves towards the finish line. Minus murder. Please don't murder my game of Survivor, please. They have the utmost faith in each other, but we will see if they can navigate the game well enough to reunite for some lovey-dovey time. The next pair in our cast is Aki and Tai Wyongi, submitted by Cool COD Boy 157. Fun fact, Aki is the first sim to be submitted to the gallery to me, so I am very happy that she finally gets to compete. Technically, Aki and Tai are siblings, but they do not have a story together because they are separated at birth. They do not know the theme for this season yet, so let's dive into their individual stories. Tai grew up in Sulani with a lot of diversity and culture, but as an infant, he wandered into the tent of a traveling circus while his parents were distracted by fire dancers. Honestly, I get it. In the end, he basically got whisked away with the circus as no one knew who this baby was, and he grew fond of sewing and fashion as a child, taught by some orangutans. Nowadays, he's a style influencer and works with all sorts of people, but still mostly designing clothes for his circus family. So, with the backstory out of the way, let's talk about Tai. Tai is a child of the islands and he retains some vague memories of Sulani, enough for him to feel at home when he visits. He's vain and outgoing, brought forth by his career, but nobody knows he's kind of a geek at heart as well. He loves video gaming and tinkering things in his free time. He may look prissy, but he's not afraid to get down and dirty. He dislikes complaining and people lying to him. He also prefers the heat over anything, so skiing and snowboarding are absolutely out of the question for him. He's on Survivor because he believes he's up for the challenge and he hopes to reconnect with Sulani at the same time. Yeah, he does not know we're gonna be in Mount Komorebi just yet. Remember the distracted parents who caused Tai to be taken away by the circus? Well, the mom was also kind of pregnant at the time, and that's where Aki comes in. Aki was born, but her parents never told her about the sibling that they lost. I mean, that's a bad image for any parent, okay? So Aki grew up in bliss in a loving household, and currently works as a freelance artist, selling the sights of Sulani online to those who do not have the opportunity to visit. About Aki, she's a child of the ocean and a lover of the arts, spending most of her time either digitally painting or swimming in the seas. She's also perky, which scares people how positive she is, and very romantic. She's definitely looking to use her charm and to advance further in the game if she can. She loves to flirt, loves to gossip, and always has great spirit. She cannot deal with egotistical maniacs and mean people though, and dislikes fishing cause she cares a great deal about Sulani's ecosystem. Aki applied to be on Survivor for similar reasons as Tai. She hopes to challenge herself and maybe break herself out of the Sulani bubble a little bit. So maybe she'll be a little happy that we're not in Sulani this season. The next pair we have on our hands are brothers Antaeus and Troy Thompson, submitted by Stormcaster Judd. Wait, Thompson? Isn't that was Rochelle's last name, right? From last season? And you're both redheads. Oh my god. You're Rochelle's nephews? Well, I'll be. You have a big name to live up to. Well, backstory first. Troy is a teenager who loves the concept of adventures but dislikes the outdoors. As a result, he turned to video games, nature documentaries, and reality shows to fuel his imagination and explore the world from the comfort of his home. Antaeus, on the other hand, is a fearless daredevil who works as a stuntman whenever Blockbuster calls and goes on solo explorations whenever he is not needed. The brothers have a close family dynamic with each other, but their differences make it really hard to hang out with one another. Antaeus has tried to take Troy out to Salvadorada once, but yeah, you know Salvadorada. It's pretty unforgiving for the unprepared. Back to the virtual world for Troy. In the present, Antaeus saw a casting call for Survivor, and despite knowing little about the show, the idea already calls out the adventurer in him. He talked to Troy, who is a little bit of a reality show geek, and decides that this is probably the time for him to really step out of his comfort zone. There's no retreating back home when you're put on Survivor anyway. So here the brothers are, on Survivor Blood vs. Water. Antaeus is a stuntman, as mentioned, and he's active, adventurous, a daredevil, and a great storyteller. He's also very solemn and serious by nature, so he doesn't really get jokes, and goofball sims probably confuse him a little bit, but that's okay. He's fit and handy from staying in shape and gets the archaeology and Salvadoran culture skills from exploring the jungle. For likes and dislikes, he likes people with great work ethic and has no time for the arts and the idealist. He dislikes gossip, and jokes simply fly over his little head. He sees Survivor as another adventure to conquer and hopes to spend some time with his little brother in an element that he's familiar with. Troy is a high schooler and he's very smart and logical. Sadly, he's also squeamish and lactose intolerant. This kid has a lot going against him, doesn't he? Well, for skills, he has logic, programming, video gaming, and a little bit of Salvadoranian culture thanks to Antaeus' stories. The kiddo loves cerebral sims like himself and adores talking about deep things like the creation of the Simsverse. Dislikes high energy and mean people though, and physical intimacy. He's a little bit of a germaphobe that way. He's on Survivor to put himself out of his comfort zone first of all, so let's hope his dislike for fitness and handiness won't set him back. Oh hey, another male duo. Give a hand for Bisaam and Khajeer Ayad, a father and son duo submitted by Audrey42. Bisaam and Khajeer hail from Sulani and they are a family of mermaids. Muslim mermaids, eh? That kinda has a ring to it. Bisaam is an adult and he's a mermaid surgeon. Isn't that so cool? He spends most of his time at the Sulani clinic helping hurt mermaids caught in fishnets or fish traps. Or shark attacks. Ooh, that is nasty. Of course, family comes first for Bisaam, and in his spare time, he has a lot of passion for cooking. Vegetarian meals only though, cause they're fish themselves, so eating meat just doesn't feel right for them. His characteristics are also pretty self-explanatory. He's a logical yet emotional man, motivated by family and his hard-working work ethic. He dislikes arguments and deception, and doesn't believe anybody should keep pets, so pet enthusiasts get an L. His dislike for robotics stem from not wanting them robots to replace his job. Plus, technology is a huge contributor to Sulani's pollution. Bisaam thinks Survivor is meant for him, given the stress he deals with daily and the multitude of people that he meets. He's looking to form real connections to help propel himself to the endgame. Khajeer is a teenager that's on the soccer team. It's kinda crazy how good he is on his legs and on his fins. Ariel, take notes, girl. Anyway, the kid is active, cheerful, competitive, and also a vegetarian like his father. He's literally a perfect student, being fit from sports while also having a sharp mind thanks to his logic and video gaming skills. He has great spirit and likes to align himself with the rascals, goofing off and getting up to no good every once in a while. He loves to go, so homebodies do not click with him either. And he also has this thing where small talk is too awkward for him, but he doesn't like to get too deep into things either. Bisaam hopes to win the money for his family and for Sulani, while Khajeer is just happy to be able to play with one of his fathers, who are both his biggest inspirations in life. Yeah, he has two fathers, yes, he just picked the one that would willingly put themselves to a grueling, ruthless game. Oop, well, I guess we're knocking out all our male-male duos out first. Presenting Gary Allende and Houston Silver, submitted by Fat Sheep and remade in The Sims 4. Gary and Houston grew up in Brightchester together, being close to each other platonically since they were the only boys in kindergarten who would play with girls. In high school, they both came out as gay and shared a crush for Jeremiah Hendricks around the same time. It's always the quarterback, isn't it? Nonetheless, their bond only grew closer and they even went to prom together as friends. Throwback to today, they have moved in together in a little home in Oasis Springs as friends. So, let's talk about Gary. Gary is a fashion photographer that's a little bit introverted, spending most of his time arranging photo shoots or working out in the comfort of his home. He's a genius and a perfectionist, but also a little squeamish when it comes to the outdoors. He's fit and charismatic and holds a little Salvadoranian culture as that is his place of birth. He's also emotional and a homebody, and too much energy does not do it for him. He loves gossiping and also talking deep thoughts though. Small talk? Out of the question. It's an introvert thing. Also, handiness is gross, and bowling is also gross, cause Lord knows where those holes have been. On to Houston next. Houston is an interior decorator and kind of the opposite of Gary in many ways. He's high maintenance, confident, and loves flirting and woohooing. Houston loves to hop around town, go to bars, and flirt on the dance floor. He also bounces between boyfriends very regularly. Honestly, respect. Anyway, his skills are a reflection of his lifestyle. For his likes and dislikes, he is very into romance and his energy is at a 10 most of the time, to Gary's dismay. He loves all forms of affection and intimacy, but beware of going deep or lame party humor, he hates those. He also dislikes knitting and video gaming cause he doesn't understand either. Knitting is too prickly for his high maintenance-ness and video gaming, just not a fan. Or maybe he lost Mario Party a little too many times. Despite being told repeatedly by their queer collective friend group that Gary and Houston would be perfect for each other, they both deny this, repeatedly. They're also reality TV junkies, so they decided to apply for Survivor together as friends. So here they are, and we shall see where their journey takes them. Romantically, perhaps? The next pair in our cast is, and I apologize if I'm pronouncing this wrongly, Hannu and Venla Koskela, a Finnish granddaughter and granddaughter duo submitted by...
Bombastic side-eye.
Oh, Koku Kauplas. Hannu is an ornithologist, aka someone who studies birds daily. He's an elder, but he is very much young at heart. He's a daydreamer, sincere, and a scribe, writing down every little fun fact he gets from his birdwatching. He loves animals, and he got the hardly hungry reward trait from the hours of sitting still. Just birdwatching. Yep. He has a variety of outdoor skills as well, and he is very fit for his age. For his likes and dislikes, he very much enjoys nature and his family, and especially dislikes argumentative people and egotistical ones. Also, he does not understand homebodies or the high-energy people. He is too old for that. He loves some old granddad party humor and sharing stories of all his findings, but don't let him catch you lying to him, it really sets him off. Venla, on the other hand, is Hannu's favorite granddaughter, mostly because she is also very outdoorsy and indulges in all of her grandfather's hobbies and stories. She's a student journalist at the moment and runs around writing the gossip column of her school magazine. She's restless, observant, and loves the outdoors as much as Hannu does, and very whimsical. It basically means she's on another plane of the world a lot and sees the beauty in a lot of things. She gets playful and inspired a lot, in Sims terms. Similar to her grandfather, she loves nature and dislikes egotistical or pessimistic people. She's a little more emotional and high energy compared to Hannu though. She loves to talk, so discussing hobbies, interests, or gossip is all up her lane. Venla actually asked Hannu to apply with her on Survivor Together as a graduation gift. And Hannu said yes, of course. He'll probably give their families a little bit of peace while taking their playful competition to a next level. They are likable and they have a lot of experience with the outdoors. But Survivor is a whole nother ballgame than just bird watching. I'm interested to see how they will take on the challenge. Next on the list is comedy duo LaMar Hudson and Stephanie Williams, submitted by Jarvis Lamar. And I think he modeled it after himself and his best friend, and that is adorable, by the way. LaMar is gay and Stephanie is bisexual. They both had tough upbringings because of their sexualities, which they cope with humor and comedy, of course. Together, they're a stand-up comedy duo who travels all over the Sims 4 to share their joy. They also have a comedy shtick where Stephanie plays the pipe organ and LaMar sings in comedy. Hey, that's kinda like... It's that, but with a pipe organ. Let's talk about them individually now. LaMar is a goofball, outgoing, and a great storyteller. He's friendly for the most part, but also gets annoyed easily, which is where his hot-headed trait comes in. He also shares a slow-to-warm-up trait alongside Stephanie since they really enjoy each other's company, but separated, they are very shy. LaMar is kind of ambitionless in some sense. He's mostly going with the flow and seeing where life takes him. He's very spirited and emotional as well, and doesn't mind being a rascal with some pranks here and there. He loves all forms of joke and mischief, but maliciousness and deception are his two biggest no-nos. Stephanie is the level-headed one of the two, being calm, loyal, goofy, and slow to warm up. She preaches positivity and spreads the message of love wherever she goes. She's very charismatic and recently picked up a little cross-stitching ever since they toured in Hanford on Bagley. She's very motivated by family, chosen or not, and she cannot deal with pessimism at all. It's happiness or nothing. She also never complains and hates when people do so, cause there's so much humor and fun in life to live for. Also dislikes research and debate cause she hates confrontation, and she'll probably just tell you that you're right, much to Lamar's delight. Separated, the two are very shy and reserved, which will be their biggest challenge on Survivor since they're gonna start competing on opposite tribes. Lamar's looking to find a new outlook in life, and Stephanie's here to support her best friend all the way. I mean, money's also a great bonus should either of them win it. Finally, let's move on to some of our lady pairs. Presenting Lian and Sakura Jiang, mother-daughter from Mount Komorebi, submitted by... Capri! Sorry, I'm gonna use your Discord name because... Sakura lost her dad in a tragic railroad accident when she was just an infant, and Mama Lian just wants to give her daughter the best life ever. As a result, Sakura is a little spoiled and rarely appreciates anything that her mother does for her. She's a salary person by day and a line cook in the evening, sometimes even bringing some food back from work or making her own gourmet meals for Sakura. But Sakura hardly comes home. Why? Oh, she's out partying, of course. Sakura is a popular girl at school and has multiple groups of friends, so she's rarely home. And if she is, it's really just to sleep. Sakura is a self-proclaimed Simstagram influencer, and it probably comes to no surprise that her traits are dance machine, lavish, and snob. She has a lot of people skills and a little bit of bowling too from hanging out with the bowling club regularly. She's egotistical and very much in her own head. Loves compliments, flirtation, and goofing off as well. Just tell her she's pretty and you won't catch hands from her. She dislikes cooking and handiness mostly because Lian does it all for her. She doesn't see any need to. And her attention span is too quick to sit down for any deep thoughts or stories. Lian, on the other hand, is a family-oriented woman. She's rather gloomy from not having much of a daughter at all since she rarely sees her, but she remains warm-hearted and being friends with her is very rewarding. She definitely makes her decisions emotionally, and she remains optimistic as well that her daughter may one day fall back into her arms like she did when she was a wee child. She dislikes rascals and mischief, clashing with Sakura in that sense, and also dislikes romance and silly behavior, also clashing with Sakura. Very lovely. Lian and Sakura have a permissive family dynamic due to Lian just letting Sakura do whatever she wants and Sakura not respecting her mother at all. Lian signed them up for Survivor so she can hopefully win some money for her family and maybe spend some time with her daughter. And while Sakura was hesitant at first because nature, and spending time with your mom is kinda uncool, she says. However, she turned around when she realized there's no better social media engagement than appearing on TV. So she said yes. Malcolm and Margot are next, and they are hot AF siblings who are close in age and in their bond, and submitted by The Queer Right. Malcolm is an arrogant know-it-all in the tech world and is currently unemployed because of some disagreements with his coworkers at his former tech job. He's also a dance machine and enjoys boogieing it down whenever he's off the clock. He's very smart, very fit, and very charismatic, which sounds like a full package if it wasn't for some of his sim characteristics. He loves to argue about things, not maliciously, may I add. It's like arguing why pineapple should belong on pizza, among other things. He dislikes hardworking sims because he thinks everyone should take it easy, and small talk does not cut it. He likes long discussions and basically a list of bullet points to back up your point. His hobbies includes all things tech and dancing, while gardening and painting are just too messy for him. As most siblings function, Margot is the calmer one. She's a very successful publicist, helping various authors sign book deal and marketing their work to the masses. She's a massive bookworm and an egghead, being so engrossed in her books that if she loses her focus or idea, she basically loses her head. She's also mostly cheerful, even though she can be a bit of a klutz. She has charisma, fitness, logic, and wellness, so you know she maintains a clear head when stress comes in. She dislikes pessimism and also preaches love and positivity at all times. Unlike her brother, she is not a fan of arguments at all and prefers some nice discussion of hobbies or stories. She thinks video games are too superficial and cross-stitching makes her bleed onto her precious books, so both of those are out of the window for her. Malcolm and Margot have a really strong bond with each other, even if they don't always see eye to eye. They know they have the social skills and physicality to make it far in the game of Survivor, and they are prepared to use their muscles, their wit, and their never-ending charisma. But it all comes down to if Malcolm can tone down on his arrogance and if Margot can tune into the game without her books. Next on the list is Marlon and Michelle Tyler, a mother and son duo summoned by Marlon Tyler. Yeah, he modeled the Sims after his own family. And if you think the family name sounds familiar, that's because the brothers were on The Sims Amazing Race too. Spoiler alert, they did not win, and while they walked through the doors in a mixed bag of pride and shame, Marlon's like, ugh, I have to do everything by myself in this house. He begged his mom for days to go on Survivor, and with a little bit of convincing from his dad that Michelle probably needs a little vacation, and it isn't quite fair that 2 out of 3 of their children got to be on a reality show. So Michelle reluctantly said yes. Off to vacation you go, Michelle and Marlon. Some vacation, am I right? Michelle is a bank clerk and a very hardworking mom. She loves her kids, she loves her job, and she loves watching TV. Beware to never cross her kid or the claws will come out. She's good, a genius, a health nut, and loyal to those in her circle. She's very good at parenting, and she also has some smarts to back it up with her logic and programming skills from working at the bank. Her characteristics are also pretty self-explanatory. She works hard for her family and she dislikes rude and loud people. She adores small talk and will probably go on and on trying to get to know you, but no room for any cheeky behavior here. She dislikes rocket science as she thinks the earth needs saving first before we shoot for the stars, and mixology cause she does not like to drink. Michelle's on Survivor mainly cause her son would not leave her alone. But she also believes that she definitely has the social skills to adapt to any situation. Marlon, on the other hand, is a huge reality show geek. He's a high schooler with a lot of brains and a lot of brawn. He loves to have fun, and he's also on the high school varsity soccer team, so he's definitely in great shape. He also plays the clarinet in the high school band, but that doesn't exist in The Sims 4, so he gets the violin as the random instrument. For his likes and dislikes, he's very cerebral and logical, and has no time for those who act emotionally or without thinking 3 steps ahead. He also loves discussing interests and getting to know people he meets, but he can do without arguments because he believes those will put huge targets on his back in the game of Survivor. Marlon has dreamed to be on Survivor since he was a wee child, so to finally have his dream come true, he's looking to play the best game in history, and hopefully at least one-up his brothers in terms of reality show performance. Next up, a very interesting dynamic duo, Mira Ismail and Zarina Kadyrov. Reality stars with a mother-daughter bond, submitted by Rotary Goblin. Mira is a stay-at-home mother from Malaysia. Oh hey, that's where I'm from. Instant stand from me. Mira is the youngest of 5 siblings, and while her family taught her to love and respect, Mira had other ideas for her charisma and intelligence. Artists make millions by convincing people that their art is the best, so why can't she do the same with herself? She packed her bags and flew to the rich country of Brunei, where she posed as a wealthy heiress and tricked a rich man to marry her. Now, she controls his business as the mastermind she is, and they also have 3 adorable children together. Mira's hobbies include basically manipulating people like chess pieces, with her family and Zarina being exceptions. Reality TV is a challenge for her and basically a side hobby to test her villainous mind. For her sim, she's the ultimate villain. She's cunning, evil, heartless, shameless, and also a genius. She's the perfect package of sneaking behind you and stabbing you in the back. She is egotistical by nature, of course, and she dislikes emotional decisions. Every move she makes is always calculated. Deception, gossip, and small talk are all up her alley, but she refuses to talk about her interests, cause how do you tell somebody that your hobbies are playing people like chess pieces? Zarina Kadyrov is a ray of sunshine and is the opposite of Mira in many ways. Zarina grew up in the country of Kyrgyzstan with beautiful landscapes and a lot of horse riding. Not pictured here cause The Sims 4 does not have horses. Naturally, Zarina has a lot of love for animals and also people. She wants to be friends with everybody, but as we know, the world is cruel sometimes and she got burned by a few that she thought were her close friends. With her distant from her family too, she turned to reality TV. Maybe there she can learn more about the world and find somebody who would actually care about her. For her traits, Zarina is neat, outgoing, and romantic, but slow to warm up due to her having been burned too many times in the past. She always maintains a positive outlook in life and is definitely an outdoorsy person with a hint of romance involved. She's not here for her blood family since they never gave her what she needed. But she loves talking about your hobbies and interests, coupled with a little bit of flirting to tickle your bones. Mira and Zarina first met on another reality show where they formed an extremely tight mother-daughter bond. Mira took Zarina under her wing and hopes to bring out her untapped potential, while Zarina saw Mira as a much-needed mother figure. With Mira's manipulation and Zarina's flirty charm, they took the game by storm and decided why not apply for another show together. Many may underestimate them, but fortunately, the more assumptions and mistakes the players make about them, the better the games will be. And the final duo to close us off is adoptive mother and daughter, Violet Richards and Charlotte Marandiki, created by Mimi Frenette. Violet is formerly a police officer who is ruthless but great at her job. A little too great. She was cold and treated every criminal the same, without a care for their motives or circumstance. That is, until one day when she met a pale, rugged teenage girl tried to steal some fruits from a vendor. There was literal money left out, but the girl only went for the apples. Violet was puzzled, and something clicked in her somehow. She decided to go up and talk to the girl, and for the first time, she empathized and began to understand why people resort to crime. In time, she adopted the girl, retired from her job, and dedicated herself to helping those around her who come from less fortunate backgrounds. She hopes to win Survivor to start a homeless shelter in San Myshuno. And let's take a look at her character real quick. Her traits probably would have been different if you met her as a young adult, but now she is endurant from her years of being a police officer. She's also loyal to Charlotte and the people she cares about, but sometimes she can be a little hot-headed and a perfectionist, which she is trying to grow out of. She's very fit and very handy, and has a little bit of charisma and parenting started out ever since she had a different outlook in life. She still appreciates hard workers and has no room for the egomaniacs, emotional people, or romance. She's pretty good at small talk and has tons of stories from her police officer days. Let's cut to Charlotte now, shall we? Charlotte's definitely much sneakier and more conniving than Violet, since she had to survive on her own a long time before she met Violet. Even though she has a home now with Violet adopting her, she definitely has some habits to unlearn. She still gorges her food from time to time as food is sparse, and she's a little bit of a klepto. She also prefers to be alone most of the time since she didn't really get much people skills. She is rather ambitious and a rascal for the most part, though she probably just needs some time to adjust. She's definitely not family oriented, since the whole reason she is on the streets is because her parents were crazy conspiracy theorists and occult researchers. They casted her out for being a vampire just because she has pale complexion. So yeah, she prefers to not talk about that, of course. She doesn't mind deceiving and playing pranks on other people though, which Violet is trying really hard to help her unlearn. Violet and Charlotte signed up for Survivor together to strengthen their bond and really prove to people in their own way that they have what it takes. Violet hopes to connect with her tribe mates on a personal level and continue to learn about human behavior. Meanwhile, Charlotte just wants to prove to herself and to those who underestimate her that you can make a name for yourself. Whew, that was a lot, wasn't it? I just gave y'all story time on 24 different Sims. Hope you enjoy getting to know the cast. Now let's look at their tribes real quick before we end the video. On the Wulong tribe, aka the Dragon tribe, we have Aili, Charlotte, Gary, Hannu, Khajeer, LaMar, Lian, Margot, Michelle, Tai, Troy, and Zarina. Seems like a good bunch. The hardest part is that everyone here seems very nice overall. Voting somebody out will be very hard. On the flip side, on the Menghu, aka the Tiger tribe, we have Aki, Antaeus, Bisaam, Houston, Malcolm, Marlon, Mira, Sakura, Stephanie, Trent, Venla, and Violet. This seems to be the physically stronger tribe, but there's also a bunch of troublemakers such as Mira, Sakura, and Trent in the tribe, so it'll be interesting to see how they get along. And that is the end of the cast review. Sim Survivor Blood vs. Water will premiere next week, and it is most likely going to be a 2-episode premiere. Thank you so much for watching this video and hope you are excited for the season as I am. I'll see you all next week. Take care and ta-ta!